The crazy part about it, he ended up dying a year and a half later. The lawsuit just ended 2 months ago.
Game over.
Hey, it's you 10 years from now, and this is probably the best lesson YouTube has ever taught you. Everyone's always wondered how rich people are so rich that their kids' have a bunch of money. And it's simple. If you do this one thing, I can almost guarantee you that with as little as $51 a month or less, you can do the same exact thing. How many people have had family members or friends that passed away? And when that happened, it just tore apart their whole family, or it just made people turn into a person that you didn't even know they could become. Like people just get dirty. I'm pretty sure we all have that relative or that family member that tries to take advantage of a situation as well. Like in an opportunistic situation, you got to have a family member, not everybody, but you got to have that family member that's like, okay, well, this happened. How can I capitalize on this? Or my nephew or my cousin or whatever. Everyone has that person, I think, in my opinion, and from my experiences, that takes advantage of a family member or someone when you have a family member that dies or a friend that dies, someone's there to just, poach. My uncle passed away in 2022 in a trucking accident. And I'm not going to get graphic, but I'm going to just give you, just so for context of what I'm going to say next. It was an 18-wheeler and it was a log truck and it was a closed casket and it wasn't my uncle's fault. So I had another uncle that was alive at that point in time. And this is 2022 when this accident happened. And you might have heard me talk about it in my previous videos. The uncle that was alive along with my mom, my uncle wasn't even in the ground 48 hours. And my uncle had called with an attorney saying, oh, we're gonna sue these people. I'm gonna create a scholarship fund. I'm gonna create this. I'm gonna create that. He had all these grand plans for the situation that happened with my uncle. And like I said, my other uncle wasn't even in the ground. Like it's crazy. Like they were still doing all kind of stuff. But here we go, having a conversation with a lawyer because of my other uncle. And he was always like this. Again, like I said, everyone has that family member that's trying to either get on their hustle or take advantage of somebody in a situation, or they may drink a lot or whatever the case is. You got that uncle or that relative that's like that. The crazy part about it, he ended up dying a year and a half later. The lawsuit just ended 2 months ago. And so the payout just happened. So he wasn't even around to take advantage of the situation that he was trying to take advantage of. So it was just my mom left at this point in time. So when you think about this person trying to take advantage, it's because they need the money, or there's a certain amount of money that is allocated because someone died. When you go into a rich family, this same situation happens. I'm pretty sure there's rich families that have situations where there's an estate and that estate has to be divided up. In my uncle's case, wasn't that much. That's the difference between rich people. I think it came out to about $300,000, which is good considering the dynamics of my family. We grew up poor. My mom worked in the military, so we didn't have money. So $300,000 is good, but none of it came from, it came from the lawsuit, but a majority of that came from the lawsuit. And then only a portion of it came from his insurance. When you're dealing with estates, not by definition, estate, that's what rich people have. So when rich people get into discussions, and like I said, kids, that's an estate. That means they got millions of dollars or they have multiple properties. That's a legit estate. Not an estate just by definition. A estate by definition is just like the assets or money that a person has after they've died. Estates, when we think about the word estates, what do you think about? You think about millions of dollars, you think about a big house, you think about all those different things. And that's what it's divided up between family members that are left. Like the brother, the nephew, or the kids, or whoever's left. Like that's what's divided up. When we think about estates, that's something that everybody can have. Rich people tend to have larger estates because just use an example of somebody that has $2 million. If you have $2 million, that's a good amount of money that can be distributed between your family members. But when you have a life insurance policy, that $2 million now, if you do it right, can be $4 million. It can even be more than that. I think you can do 3 times. Don't quote me on it because I'm not a life insurance salesman. You could probably go up to 5 times that. So the thing that wealthy people do that pass on, that changes generation, and why people's kids have money is because they have an estate, and the estate might have $2 million. Let's say the estate have $500,000 in it. They go out and they get a life insurance policy that now tripled or doubled whatever they initially had as their estate. So if they only had $500,000, let's use the number of 2 million. If they had $2 million, now with life insurance, they just doubled that. We're just gonna say they doubled it. So now they got $4 million. $4 million will change anybody's life, especially if you train them or you show them and you teach them financial literacy, which majority of the population lacks. They don't teach financial literacy in high school. You don't learn it in college. That's something that you have to learn on your own. But what we do know that's acceptable or accessible to anyone, what we do know that's accessible to anyone is life insurance. So, for example, like I gave you the example of the estate, you take someone that has a $2 million liquid available or $2 million in property, they can just basically double that. So let's use that. We're going to stick with double because you can do way more than that, but let's just stick with that. A life insurance policy, you can go out right now and get a life insurance policy for $51 that'll give you $2 million. $2 million will change anyone's life. So if a person that has $2 million, there's a high likelihood that they've spoken to a financial advisor or someone that advised them to get a life insurance policy. So now they've doubled their net worth that they can give to their kids off the bat. Even if you don't, there's a policy out there that you can get where if you don't have to get $2 million. You can get a life insurance policy. Depending on how young you are, you can go out there and get a life insurance policy for $2 million right now for $51 without you having $2 million in the bank. You don't have to have it. Especially if you go out and you get a policy in your 20s. You can go out right now if you're 20 years old or early 30s and get a life insurance policy that will give you $2 million to $3 million of life insurance for like $3 a month. Do you not think that would change the generation that comes after you? Wealth is transferred in rich families a lot of times through life insurance. And it's simple as going out there and getting a small life insurance policy. It will cost you nothing. People don't know that if they go out and get a life insurance policy in their 20s or in their 30s and they're not thinking about it, can change the entire lineage that comes after you. So why not? Why not go out there and be like, if you can't take care of your kids in life, you can at least take care of them in death. So on your transition out of here, you can be like, you know what? I left my kid. It don't gotta be 200, it don't gotta be $2 million. It could be 300,000, it could be $100,000, it could be $500,000. If you're growing up right now in poverty, you can afford a $2 a month policy that could give you $100,000 or $200,000. You need to do your research. So people always want to know how people that are rich, how the 1% do it. This is how the 1% do it. This is a trick that most people don't know. All you have to do is go out there and get a life insurance policy, and that'll secure your family for generations. And that's what you want to do. Say you couldn't do it right now. Say you didn't have the ability. Say you got dealt a bad hand. You don't have to make sure your kids have that same hand. You could change that. If you couldn't do it right now, on your way on your deathbed, you can be like, you know what? I got a life insurance policy that's $300,000. My burial is going to cost me maybe $3,000. You can do a cremation. And it's people don't like talking about death. It's going to happen. Everyone's going to die at some point in time. So why not have the conversation? It's simple. You don't even got to have the conversation. I have not had the conversation with anyone except for my mom. My mom knows if something would have happened to me or people are going to be taken care of. Just put it like that. So what you can do if you want to do to make sure you pass on and do what rich people are doing so your kids have a better life, all you got to do is go out there and do a life insurance policy. And I think people think when they think about life insurance, they don't think about it at all. I remember when I was in my 20s, and the reason why I know this, in my 20s, I worked for Northwestern Mutual. And I would go out there, and this is one of the hardest things. This is how I learned how to do sales. I had to do this. You got to become good at sales if you're selling life insurance to people, because it's one of the most morbid things you have to talk about. You have to go out there and set appointments with people to talk about them dying. That's something that most people don't want to talk about. And you should. So I would go out there and have these conversations about dying with people because I had to. And it made me a super good salesperson. And so that's kind of why I know this is what rich people do. And I did this with mainly people that had a bunch of money. They weren't per se $2-3 million. They might have had $300,000 or $400,000 to their name, but they were interested in me having a conversation with them and learn how to do sales and get them on the phone. I got them interested in having the conversation. PBD, Patrick Bet David. Look up his podcast. This is what his company was. They did life insurance. He became a multimillionaire. Look at World Financial Group. Ed Milet. There's a bunch of people out here that got rich off doing what I'm saying right now as far as life insurance. So it's a big thing for the people that know. So I'm giving you the secrets to how wealth is transferred that people don't talk about. It's simple. Like my dad ended up getting his life insurance policy late. So he only had $50,000 because I think he got his life insurance policy at, I don't know, I think he might have been 60 or something like that. So it wasn't that much. It was 50 grand, which didn't do much for my mom. My mom got it. And my uncle in his situation, same thing. He didn't know. He didn't even have life insurance. No, you know what? It's crazy because the girl that he was dating worked at the bank. And a year before he passed away, she got him a $50 life insurance policy, very small policy. And he didn't want to do that. He was like, he didn't have any kids, so he didn't care. He's like, you know what? Just give me something small. I don't know how much he was paying on it, but it was nothing. And he didn't know. But look at that. A year later, he passed away. And so that life insurance policy was able to cover his mortgage on his house and give my mom enough money to take care of some other stuff that he had. Right. So that's why I'm saying that to you because I got policies. You can have multiple policies. And so again, I'm taking care of my, you know, anything that I got to do right now. I'm taking care of the people in my life, my kids or whatever the case is right now. Even with me starting a business, they're going to be taken care of. But if I did not start a business, if I did just want to look out for them, if I did want to just be that person to take care of them, I would get a life insurance policy. So you know that I'm gonna just give you an example of one. I got one that's $500,000 and I pay $51 a month for this policy. So if something would have happened to me at any given time, boom, $500,000 automatically goes to my kids. And I'm just giving you one. There's something called a whole life policy. That's a bit more expensive. But the rich people, they will take out a whole life policy. I got a guy that I know who buys rental properties through his whole life because you have something called paid up additions that you can take out a loan on the life insurance policy. Say, for example, the policy that I just told you about, that's $500,000. If that was a whole life policy, I'd be able to go out there and take out a loan on that $500,000. Depending on whatever it is, depending on what I paid into it, I could take out a loan on that $500,000. It will just decrease my death benefit. So say my death benefit is $500,000 and I want to do a loan of $40,000. I can go out there and do a loan on that $500,000 policy for $40,000 and pay no taxes on it. The only thing that happens is it decreases my life insurance policy from $500,000 to $450,000. I don't got to pay it back. If I don't pay it back, it just decreases my death benefit. That's a trick. This is a trick that a bunch of rich people are doing. So if you, and I'm not giving you all the details about it because I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just giving you a trick that you can do to go out there and do this to make sure that your kids are taken care of. And so you will be able to take this and, take out a loan on the life insurance policy and go do something with that. So like I gave you an example of a guy who goes out and buys real estate. He'll put up a certain amount of money into his whole life policy. He'll take out a loan on that particular policy to put down the down payment to buy this property. He didn't pay anything. He's just making the payments on his life insurance policy. So he still has his life insurance policy. He took out a loan on that policy. He put it down to buy a property. It was like an 18-unit apartment complex that he bought. I know another person. His daughter wanted to put a pool in her backyard. He took out a loan against his life insurance policy, gave her the money to buy a pool. He don't got to pay it back. He's just going to continue to pay his life insurance policy. Genius. Genius. So if you want to do something like what I'm saying, I'm not giving you all the details. I'm giving you different examples on you making sure that you want to go out there and do your due diligence and do your own research and do what I'm telling you, because this is what rich people do. They buy assets through life insurance policies. They take out loans on their life insurance policies. They put pools up. They do all of these different things. And they just keep making a monthly payment to make sure that they're straight. So they're taking advantage of it in life, just like their kids are going to take advantage of it in death. So why would you not want to do something like this to make sure your kids are straight, or your wife, or whoever it is that you want to put on there as the beneficiary. It doesn't have to be anybody. You can put whoever you want as the beneficiary. You got some whoever out there that you want to take care of. Do what you do. I'm just giving you a different way on showing you how wealth is transferred. So instead of you wondering, like, man, why these people got so much money? Why the 1% or why this? Don't ask why, ask how. And I'm telling you how they do it. So this is a prime example. Go out there, get a cheap life insurance policy. Get one that's like $2 a month that might be $75,000 or $20. You can spare $20 or $30 a month to make sure that you do what I'm saying right now so that you can take advantage of this in life and to make sure that you can pass on generational wealth to your family members or to your kids or whoever you want to leave it to by simply doing something like that. Why do you care, right? It doesn't matter to you, right? You're taking care of somebody and you don't have to worry about what they're going to do. Because a lot of times when you leave and you know you got responsibilities that are here, if you didn't come up with a business or have a bunch of money to leave them, you don't want to. I don't know anybody who wants to leave here and just leave their family in a struggle. Some people might be like, well, I don't care. They can figure it out. I'm not like that. I want to make sure that the people that I know that come after me are taken care of. And then my kid can do the same thing because I'm teaching financial education to almost everybody that in my circle that I know. If I can get you to level up your life, and this is kind of why I have this podcast, the same stuff I teach you, the same stuff I try to teach people that I deal with on the day-to-day basis, my clients that I do real estate with, the people that I have in my mastermind, the people that I'm coaching, this is what I do with them. I'm just giving it to you in a video. I obviously dive way more into this with my clients, but this is what I teach. So you want generational wealth? This simple. You can pass on generational wealth by $51 a month. You could change the whole trajectory of your whole entire lineage by doing what I just said. And so why wouldn't you want to do that? Like, it would be selfish for you to leave here and make whoever it is, your family members, figure it out. Right? That sucks. That's stupid. And I've gone through it. And I'm telling you, it sucks. Like the amount of stress that puts on your family. And I'm not the first person who had family members that died. Like, you know what it's like to have a family member that passed and they don't have anything. They don't have anything but debt. And that debt is passed on to the estate. Yeah, obviously you can be like, I'm not paying it. It can't go on anyone's credit. But it's still a headache to have to navigate that when you're going through it. And people know my story. Like 6 people for me over the last 2 years. Like 3 years, 2.5 years, 3 years now, they've passed away. And it's a lot that goes along with that. It would have been much easier if we had $500,000 to handle some of that stuff, but it didn't happen. And it is what it is, and we got to take care of it. But why not? Like, if you're alive and you're watching this video, do something that's simple to go out there and just, get a life insurance policy to make sure people are taken care of. But one thing that I want to do for the people that are interested, that want to know more about this, there's a misconception. One thing that I've learned by learning psychology, there's always one thing that a person can do. A person is generally only one idea or one change away. From me learning psychology, there's always one thing that a person can change, or they're always one idea away from having a major breakthrough in life or having this change that they want to have to open up all the doors for all the dreams and goals or things that they want to accomplish. If I were you, I would join the Make One Change Challenge. Doing the Make One Change Challenge, you'll discover the one thing that you need to do. A lot of times people have the struggle with uncovering what it is that they need to fix. With the Make One Change Challenge, you go through this whole self-discovery process where you discover exactly what your one change you need to make. And that's the thing about what we do in the Make One Change program. It's a self-discovery. Change happens in an instant, and change has to happen in the unconscious mind. Most of the time, people are making changes consciously, and it's not the change that they need to have. And so going through the Make One Change Challenge, we tap into your unconscious mind. We do different activities that you have to go through over a 5-day process with very minimal time, an hour a day, where you're going to go through this self-discovery process and you're going to figure out, your unconscious mind is going to identify that one change that you need to make. And then boom, everything that you're trying to do, every goal that you're trying to accomplish is going to unlock these different activities that you got to do. So I challenge you to click the link in the description to sign up for the Make One Change Challenge and let your mind do the work. You're going to just do the activities And it's going to unconsciously unlock certain things in your brain that you didn't even know existed because you don't know. You don't have the tools. A lot of us don't have the tools. I didn't get the tools until I became an integrative psychologist. And then I went through my own therapies, which I talked about before in 2018, that really just changed and gave me the tools and resources that I need to do what I'm doing right now. So the Make One Change Challenge will do the same thing for you. You will do this over the course of 5 days with me. You're going to unlock all these different things, and it's going to be unconsciously. The unconscious mind is a goal getter. The conscious mind is a goal setter. And that's what's going to happen. Boom, it's going to unlock all these different things. So click the link in the description below because I know you want to make that $2 million in this lifetime. Who wouldn't, right? So click the link in the description below to make that change to help you discover how you're going to be able to make $500,000 to $2 million in this lifetime while you're alive. Who wouldn't want to do that? Exactly.